Who do you think is the biggest sellout in the game? Who do you think is the biggest sellout in the game?
Can I take maybe a timeout? I'll be back. I think I'm also getting that Rambo Yaga Sipo from last week. It's happening right now.
My fish is burning. I gotta leave. Wait.
I think it's time for me to...
Sipo, you can run this one first. Thanks.
I'm trying to figure out who is the biggest sellout. It's a very difficult question. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another brand new episode of the POPcast. That's your boy Muchi for the kids. As you can see today, I'm sandwiched between two beautiful ladies. I feel like I came with the neutral colors. And then the lady said, you don't want. So we're going to pull up with another situation. Of course, we have an amazing guest chilling with us today in Courtney Paul. How to say it right? It's like something, I'm Courtney.
Not Courtney.
Courtney.
Thank you.
Never Courtney. Always Courtney.
I'll take it.
You know, famed choreographer, musician, DJ. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. And of course, Dumela.
Oh, wow. Like the old furniture shop was
Miss Cosmo, beautiful and gracious as ever in pink today. How are you, Miss Cosmo?
I'm good. The furniture will always be here. I'm all right. I'm feeling all right.
Miss Cosmo.
Yes. We are in, what's this area? North Riding.
We're in North Riding?
Yes, at Neil T Music Studios. Media Music, yes.
Shout out to them for giving us the space to host today.
Yes, and they are available obviously for like recordings and studio sessions. I've actually been here a couple of times for different reasons as well. So the studio has been here for a while.
Absolutely.
And they've done a lot of stuff in the game as well. So
yeah, I've also been here before, and the guys have been around for quite some time.
I've also been here before, since we're all doing that.
It's nobody's first time.
Yeah.
Except for you guys at home, of course. It's been an interesting week, as per usual. South Africa doesn't disappoint in disappointing.
Yeah, but we need to rewind.
But we start with good news.
We start with also rewinding as to why we went up last week, because we were supposed to record.
Yes.
Omunye umuntu went to a pry. What isn't this wrong?
I my brother stomach was saying. I don't think I would have rushed through it. Last week's episode would have been 10 minutes long. Hi guys, welcome to the POPcast and thank you very much for tuning in. Yay.
No, I had one eyebrow on Miss Cosmo phones. I'm like, no, don't worry, I'm on my way. She's like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
5-2 or something.
And that's what I said to Courtney. I was like, when you're drawing your eyebrows, that's the problem.
That's the cost of keeping it real sometimes. You guys now even know my bowel movements at home.
Anyway, what happened in the news?
All right, it's been another interesting week. Gigi Lamayne is going to be the host of a brand new TikTok show, TikTok Top 40.
Yes, Africa Top 40.
Africa Top 40 on TikTok, which is dope because I was wondering at which point TikTok will be doing the music thing deliberately.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people's music, of course, that's been playing on TikTok has gone on to chart. And there's a whole thing where artists, promoting your song on TikTok is like a real thing now.
Yeah.
More like any other app, TikTok is very music friendly. So very interesting to see Gigi taking that little leap.
Why are you giggling?
I'm giggling because Gigi is caught my attention somewhere else.
Now look, Gigi is meant to be hosting. Gigi, what are you doing? On Temptation Island. Let's talk about it.
If you guys don't know, there's a little show called Temptation Island. Where you get some people and some couples together, and then they get put in a house with a bunch of singles, and the whole thing about it is disrupt.
It's temptation.
If you can break, it's life breaking. It's life breaking. You come there, everybody gets one brick.
Yes.
You go into this house, and let me show you, Gigi playing with bricks.
Yes. Came with the house. I'm gonna throw the whole thing.
No way.
I say shout outs.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken about Temptation Island before in Real Views. With Gigi doing this, I think she's also just trying to, first of all, expand what more she can do for herself. I like people who play around, who say, okay, let me try different things. So, and I think for her, she's also she's expressing herself in different ways. Of course, now she's presenting, she's just dropped an album, and now she's on Temptation Island. I think it was needed for us to also kind of shake up the formula a little bit, because sometimes with these reality shows you watch and then you laugh at these people, you're just like, okay, sharp. Now it's exciting because like, hey, I want to see which one she's just gonna do next week.
She came out firing within the first 5 minutes. She was already in a fight.
Yes.
Immediately, episode 1, scene 1, she's like, I'm gonna take your man. Yeah. I was like, whoa, Gigi. But then I was like, you know what? That's the show. The whole show is come take someone's man or someone's girl. And let me tell you something, Gigi is bringing the heat. It's 3 episodes and you guys should go check it out. Go do your Googles and find out where.
No, I'm inside. I'm fully immersed. I am.
They haven't thrown a bag this way, so the link will not be in the description or anywhere else. But you guys should check it out. Very, very interesting. Yes. But I like what you're saying, diversifying. Yes. We see people as artists just linear, they just make music. Miss Cosmo must just DJ. What if Miss Cosmo wants to make pink jackets? She must make pink jackets,
It's happening.
Then we can put the link here.
You understand what I'm saying? To buy some pink jackets from Miss Cosmo. Sure. Something else that happened in music, of course, Zingah. Last episode when Slick was here, we were speaking about Zingah's time coming slowly. Yeah. He's been, of course, we've known him since Smash's days and seeing his progression, his ups and downs, and it seems like he's stabilizing now. Yes. Brand new deal with management with 5th season.
Yeah. I actually saw that press release come through, and I think for me, at that point, I was like, okay, cool. Now I can see he's trying to take his career in a certain direction. Yeah. Because sometimes you would kind of see him kind of floating. Obviously, there was the upset with the Cash Time Live fam. But then when he decided, okay, let me sit down and actually do my music, he was just signed. He had a license deal just with Sony. But for me, I was like, okay, but what else are you doing for yourself? Yeah. And the importance about a management team like that is that they can take him to the next level, get him the brand deals, get him in front of people, get him doing PR, because you can only be a good rapper for so long. What else can you bring to the table for people to pay attention?
Now, they did great work with Younger, you know what I'm saying? And
Trezor was with...
Trezor, yes. And Nanu at some point was...
Yes, Look,
I was there for a year last year.
Yeah.
Really? So I was with them for a year. I think that was when I also initially started taking these... Like you're saying, what's the next level, So I was with them from I think Jan till August, when I dropped the EP. And amazing people, I think it's important to find where your synergies lie. It's not saying now you and I must work forever. You know what I mean? I think I've always been that person where you find a team and you get sold on family. So I hope it works out for them. 5th season is up.
Very cool. I mean, AKA, of course, as we know, is the guy who was the biggest artist at some point. And they started off with AKA and then they had that separation and then he went back to 5th season.
Ami Faku.
So clearly there is the synergy. But the synergy wasn't working for Keenan, he left. And when he wanted to catch that wave again, whatever that wave was or that energy was, he went back. So these things do happen. Maybe Courtney will catch another wave.
We don't. There's no dramatics, But I think it's important when you find your team or the right team for you. Yeah. Not everybody has the same. You know what I mean? What you gonna do with me?
Nothing funny, no.
No, but really, you can't do with me what you would do with, let's say, Miss Cosmo. Everybody has their own specific, you know what I mean? So,
very, very dope. Shout out to Zingah for that. Excited to see what that relationship develops into. Yeah. And another big news story. I think we're used to having our artists being nominated under BETs now. It's always one of the other guys who's popping or whatnot. And of course, once again, it's Nasty C this time for...
Best International
Flow. And I looked at that list as 100% don't know anybody on this list. There's guys from Brazil there. One guy is Slovakia or something. I was like, okay, Nasty, go in there. And I think he might be the only English speaking. But actually, I know Dave from the UK. He's a dope artist.
But that's what I like about that nomination. Because obviously we know Nasty's doing big things, especially in the States. He's trying to get his feet in there. Yeah. Why I specifically like this one is because sometimes for Africa, they always kind of plug us on the one nomination only, just to say Best African Act. And that's where you're going to sit. It's dope to kind of now put him in a space where he's competing with the world and not necessarily just everybody else on the continent. So they're trying to say, okay, Nasty, you're coming through with your flow. Let's see what Europe's got. Let's see what South America's got. Let's see what Asia's got. You know what I mean? So,
but I love those lists because they help you discover new people as well. 100%. If anything, that international list, I always go and find, okay, why? This guy must have been here for a reason, right? So they can always help other artists to be like, okay, now I'm going to go listen to the other. Even the guys from Brazil. Don't know if what he's going to be saying in Portuguese or whatever, but we're going to be there, brother. And we're going to show as much love as we can. So shout out to Nasty, of course, like you said. The international wave is definitely where he's trying to get into. Hopefully he'll get into the mainstream BET nominations. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he'll have a deliberate American nomination one day, seeing that that's where his relationships lie. And we're still chilling with our guest, Courtney Paul.
Who?
Courtney.
I'm picking it up right at the end, Courtney. I'm letting the E just
You can say Beyonce without a problem, but you struggle. Why? Is it because I'm local or what?
No.
Just take me there.
So I'm just trying to figure out. There's
Yes,
this
when a
deliberate
girl claim that crown.
It's on my ID.
Beehive,
I'm not
what?
even trying to act cute.
It's the Beehive out here, okay? Courtney.
Yeah, there's this thing that black people have started doing as a joke because, like white people can pronounce their names.
Yes.
So Oaks would be like deliberately trying to pronounce Brian. Like, what's your name? Bravo. No, it's Brian. Braste.
That's what I feel like
It's
you're
like,
doing to me.
you're sitting here going, nigga, you can say Beyonce.
Yeah.
What the hell is your problem? And of course, I mean, with this whole media training chat that we're having right now, it's the one or two big things that happened this week, of course, was going to MacG. If people go on that show and then their tongues get very, very loose, they get very, very relaxed.
I blame so.
MacG reels you in nicely. It's jokes, it's tequila. And then they're like, yeah, but that's clever. And that thing you were saying last week, they ask you that real question and they're never prepared for it. Boohle, of course, has Tandana, one of the biggest tracks in the country right now with Cassper. And she was asked about that track and she made it sound as if she didn't, I didn't even know who this Cassper was. I don't know. Yeah, I made a song and then the next thing, there's this rapper on there. I'm sitting there going, Boohle.
Now, that thing is twofold for me. Because, yes, fine. Maybe the way she answered the question was a little bit suspect. But I'm also, what happens to us here on POPcast and also possibly is happening to Boohle with that clip was, there was a clip circulating. Did people see what happened before she mentioned that? What was the question that led to? Because they started that clip at the point where she said, but I don't know.
No, but that's the problem.
No, but the thing, do you know how many times have you recorded songs and people have sent you the verse and you haven't been in studio together?
A lot.
Exactly.
But then why
people acting like it doesn't happen?
Act like I don't know who the person is that just sent me the verse.
Like, that's not how features work. Features work that way all the time. People record verses, then they send the track around, and it comes back with different verses.
Imagine
sometimes the label does on your behalf. And they're like, I can get this guy on this track. We can get a hook from somebody else. It gets put together in 3 different studios. You know what I'm saying? So people say they've never met before or never really had any sort of relationship. It's like, that
it
happened.
was the way for me. The way she said it.
Exactly. You could definitely say, I would made this dope track. I just didn't know where it was going to go, how it was going to finish. I know it was collaborative between myself. I see now media training. And of course, somebody that you expect of media training is definitely AKA.
Yes.
But of course, he's very sensitive about every topic now these days. And he and Thando Thabethe had a bit of a run-in together.
And it's awkward because I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like that was also one of his first interviews after his situation with Anele. And obviously, we need to be sensitive because he lost the love of his life. We all understand that. But it's also gotten to a point where people still have questions, especially after the interview.
Sure.
You know what I mean? The interview with Thembekile. So obviously, with Thando coming in and saying, okay, we're pushing your new music. We want to make sure that people are listening. But we also have other things we want to ask. Absolutely. It was her job to ask the question.
I couldn't believe it.
It was a bit awkward. I think his reaction was a bit awkward, but I do think it was also, if you were in his position, how would you have answered? Because people also need to remember that he's also got feelings.
Yeah, but the thing is, you already know it's going to come up. So I think he himself should have just known better and say, even if I don't want to talk about it, say, you know what, guys, I'm actually not comfortable enough right now to delve into this topic. I know it's the number one thing that you all want to find out about. I know my life is in front of the pages.
Also, you're saying he should have used these words.
You should have used these words and just said...
You should have... Also, like, I'm sensitive to death. So what you're not going to do is say...
Right,
no,
of course.
Yeah.
Like, finesse me a little bit. So, how have you been? Nice to see you out. We like that you're in studio again. Also, what happened in that interview because you were not rocking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just set it up. For me, it's always the way. Same thing with Boohle. It was the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then on both sides, it was the way that you're mentioning, because maybe not mentioning it and not calling it an incident and keeping it a little bit more sensitive because it is death. So Thando from that perspective, but also Keenan as well could have chosen better words on how to
100%.
answer. But he did apologize.
Yeah.
He did post an apology saying he actually should have managed it better. So shout out to him for understanding that he was wrong. Like you're mentioning, he does have media training. Boohle, I think your time will come, baby girl. You're still new in the industry. Things will hurt you. Don't worry. We get tweeted all the time. We get cancelled every week, and then we're back again. Don't worry.
Also, shout out to Sipo's friend Costa for just. You've got to pick your struggle.
I would have done the same thing. It's not your question, Costa. Don't answer it.
Yesterday, he went into his own head. So he did not get involved at all. But yeah, man, that's just how the cookie crumbles. But of course, guys, just care a little bit about what's coming out of your mouth. Huh? How have you found, Courtney, for example, being able to hold yourself, part of your character always coming through and being honest versus knowing that, you know what, there's certain things I mustn't touch or speak on with a little bit more care?
I don't know, man. I think I've always been a bit of a corporate baby, like from the start. Like I'm a Durban girl. So when I moved here, I didn't know anyone. It's very hard to get into like the streets and the cliques. So naturally I went where it's like just your work speaks. I didn't have to sit in the club to be your friend, you know? So naturally I've got away with words. But I find, you know what I liked? Remember the hustle? Part of that competition was like you sit with Farah and you do an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that thing back.
Yes. Yes.
It's important because at the end of the day, as much as it's hip-hop and be authentic and culture and beef this guy and but also like it's your career at the end of the day.
But I don't even think it's just hip-hop. I think it's all genres.
Yeah.
And of course, obviously a lot of the spotlight right now is sitting on Amapiano because they are the big wave right now. And I've had this conversation with a couple of people, I think maybe because at the time when hip-hop was maybe making its way in, we also had a little bit of our upsy daisies. We were like, this one he needs a little bit of a conversation. And maybe that's what's happening now, where the guys are starting to get into this fame and they don't understand how they're supposed to present themselves because all they have is the talent. And they don't necessarily have the, what do I say when I'm in front of a camera? What do I do when I'm at an interview? And that's why sometimes it's a little bit of an anticlimax. When you watch an interview or you listen to something and you're like, oh, but surely you should have known how to answer that question. Absolutely. That one went just a little bit sideways. So it is important.
I mean, even that for me, it's like, where do you go? Most kids, especially with the Amapiano thing, it's like, we got superstars every morning. You wake up, there's a new song trending, there's a new superstar.
Every week, there's a new artist.
In my mother's room, I'm producing something. Tomorrow I wake up, I'm a star. I'm on whatever channel, and I've never done this in my life. Now I'm expected to behave like a star. You know what I mean? Where do you go for media training? I've never
I think in this age, especially of cancel culture, people are a lot more sensitive about what they're trying to say, what they're not trying to say. They're being told, hey man, there's this real issue going on. So if you're going to be asked this question, either answer it with the proper sensitivity. But a lot of the times I feel like Oaks just shy away. They'll tell you before the interview, I don't want to talk about this. Don't bring it up at all. It's like, it's literally the number one thing in your life right now. The number one question. So I think it's better for guys to maybe try and understand how to deliver answers. And even when you don't want to talk about it, to be able to say it in a way that, you know what, doesn't seem like you're shying away from the truth or shying away from like a real issue. In South Africa, let me tell you what these guys are scared to do. These guys are scared to upset each other because you live in the same complex, you shop at the same grocery store, you're all at the same clothing store.
My complex.
Not Nota. The same complex.
With Nota, yeah. You almost knocked me the other day.
So that's what people are really afraid of, I found in our country, is that everything feels so close. The entertainment industry as a whole. People are under the same publications, same, you know what I'm saying? They're going to the exact same industry events. And of course, in other countries, they do the same, but there's just so much more space in bigger countries. Like, when we're thinking about Europe and we're thinking about the United States. In South Africa, I found that people are just scared to speak because I'm just going to bump into Dimples tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, what's up, player? And I've had those problems with me personally, where it's like, hey, what's up? Oh, no, don't say hello to me. Don't say hello to me. Let's talk about that thing you're talking about. I'm just like,
come on.
I'm like, I tweet a lot of nonsense and then tomorrow I must look at the person and they're like, say that thing that you're saying on Twitter. I'll be like, okay, I've been tweeting for a very long time.
Which one?
A lot of rubbish. I'm going to need you to be specific. And this guy was like, no, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, I actually don't know what I'm talking about. So in one of his face, I took my phone out and I Googled his name I was like, okay.
I'm surprised you haven't caught a clap yet, actually.
I haven't caught a clap. I've come close, but also it's like, I clap for clap. I mean, me, I don't tell the other cheek. My cheek, your cheek. Your cheek, it's fine. Even if I lose the fight, but it's not going down like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not that type of person. I feel like some people, maybe South Africa now, they've gotten a little bit, the media training is coming from brand deals. They're scared to hurt their brand. So even in real life, they don't really do anything to you, these guys, because they think somebody has a phone out there waiting for me to, to show that slap or for me to come across as violent, only to add on to, apparently I'm a violent person. Next thing, brands aren't talking to me. So Oaks are watching their pocket, they're not really watching their mouths.
That's the problem. But you also need to, watching your mouth is one thing, but it's also like being present to be there, to get yourself out there. I mean, you can't be declining an interview just because it's too early in the morning.
Yeah, so Trill there, I was like, hey.
I'm tricky about that one. And maybe I'm sensitive towards that because I'm on radio over and above being an artist who has to arrive for interviews as well. So I've got both sides of the coin for that one. And you sit there and you just like, you've organized everything, your whole show is prepared for this person, and then they say, can't make it because meleng vuge.
So was it confirmed?
Yes, that he had tweeted. The radio host
No, there's
tweeted.
nowhere.
So there's a lot there's a lot. The one thing that I get frustrated about with artists when they cancel last minute is that you don't understand the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes for me to prepare for this interview. I need to get clearance for you to get into the studio. Where's manje ngoba COVID? No, I must get to 5 different sign-offs to make sure that you can walk into the SABC. Outside of that, then it's also just preparing the content, it's preparing your music, it's preparing the questions. So if you're just going to say, my brother, but outside of you disappointing the radio presenter, you're also disappointing the fans because they want to hear your voice.
It's the entire promo.
Do you know how many times I know, because I can hear someone's music, but I don't know their story. I don't know where they come from. I don't know what their voice sounds like when they're just speaking, because sometimes that's different. As a fan, I want to hear you. Now, if you've got a schedule, I'm going to listen in the morning because he's coming. And then we'll say, ngilele. Next time when I have to stream your song.
Like, he still made a nice excuse. He said, look, my stomach wasn't going to make it. Lie to me a little bit. I'm prepared. Lie to me. Don't tell me you're sleeping. Tell me something else. Like,
lie to me a little?
Yeah, there's no shedding in my car. Something.
In my own complex. There's no water in my own.
Yeah, just
in
my unit
bathroom.
is empty.
So, and I can't wash in the sink. You know, there's like, people give you some real excuses. Look, when I used to be on radio and we hosted the breakfast show from 7 till 10, we had a lot of problems trying to get guys to come to the interview and confirm it. Some people, it took us 3 or 4 tries. Especially artists and DJs.
I want to be patient.
3 or 4 tries.
The moment you cancel, I say, sharp. Next. you try, and then when you call me again, I'm going to make you wait.
I respect the people that used to show up, even though I can see in their eyes that there's death in this person's eyes. This person did not want to make it. Like I said, I remember one time we were interviewing Babes, and I was like, shit. And then Babes was like the busiest person in South Africa at that time. She was doing 17 gigs in one night. You don't even know how she was making it anywhere. But she still came through. She definitely looked like she was tired, but she was like, she would tell you, look, man, I don't want to be here. But as soon as the microphone was on, she brought the thing that she needed to bring. As soon as the microphone was off, I don't want to be here. I'm extremely tired and I just want to sleep. Can I nap in between ad breaks?
Showbiz, that's part of it. You can't, you know what I mean?
The show must go on.
But yeah, to all you guys out there looking for a little bit of media training, I'd say definitely invest in it. It's a good balance between just be yourself, but at the same time, watch your mouth.
And there's no reason for you. There's
no reason for you. There's a way of being honest without being like, people like being confrontational and saying, I'm just being honest. It's like, there's a way you can carry yourself a little bit better.
And also just think about your brand, because now you've got that black mark on your name. Now people come and say, hey, I'm scared to call that one for an interview because is it going to come? And it doesn't matter what time of the day it'll be, because now I'm going to be scared even at 3 PM.
And of course, we're going to slide into our next topic. Personally, my favorite.
Okay.
Courtney, are you ready? All right, it's unpopular opinions. You know what we've done? We've taken all the rappers there, we dumped them in the bin this week.
Yeah,
because now it seems like it's
we're targeting.
Like there's a direct line of fire.
I just want to diss track about the podcast. That's actually what it is.
I personally would be honored.
You'd rather have a pum diss track.
Sipo. You should be Dimpo. I don't know.
You should be Dimpo.
Feel free to add me in your mixtape. I will even promote it with you, my brother. But let's go into unpopular questions. Let's see what we've got going with these opinions this week. Hopefully not who's the hottest rapper. All right. Who is the greatest producer in South Africa?
Wow.
Who is...
Can I answer that now? How does this game work? Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to say Pori.
I was also going to say
That's where my heart is. That's where there's nothing he hasn't touched that just hit the... When I think about it, like when I first got into the scene, it was Pori in the hip-hop space. Then he went to the Afro space when he did the... What is that track with Nasty and them? Then he went to the piano. Now he's saving us again. Like, I just think he's brilliant. Like,
he's existing through a lot of eras of South African music and genres as well, not just house or hip hop.
I was also going to mention Pori purely for the same reason. He's literally got a hit song in every genre.
Yep.
He did. He produced "My Name Is" for DJ Zingah. Yes, that was Pori. He has done particular, like you mentioned, there was a big song, Afro Beats. Shikana. He also produced her one of her biggest songs, Suited. He produced Suited for Shikana, pop music. He is inside there by piano, giving us all of the hits that you want. At some point, he also gave us a Bomb Wake. Afro pop. That's for
Mafiki album.
He also did a whole Bomb album as well before he went into piano. For me, I'm just like, what is better? And also, there was a point where I actually even wanted to like speak to him and say, dude, you need to do like a one night with Pori and just say all of your hits on stage. Because you see, like I'm mentioning the songs that you didn't even know about.
Yet I chose
Get those people to come and perform and say, yeah, I wouldn't have this hit song if it wasn't for Pori. Ngutu, Gstar.
Yes, and you know what? It's not just random stuff. Like, I produce everything, but you don't know any of it. It's hits.
Versus. It should be a versus where it's Pori versus Pori.
What's his rapper name?
Oh, Madumane.
Oh, Madumane.
My Pori versus Madumane. Probably only competition that side.
No, but he's a rapper there. He's different.
I want to mention another guy who we all know very well and is a great producer. And who unfortunately just isn't around anymore in the music scene the way that he used to be. And it's Bongani Fassie. Now, every chance that I've gotten to speak about Bongani Fassie.
That to come out of your mouth.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things about me that you guys think you know, but you see, turn it around, Baba. Bongani Fassie is a very talented musician. Not just in hip-hop or anything. You know, like, people don't know, like, Bongani Fassie has an entire jazz album.
Yeah.
You know, it exists on iTunes. You can go and find it. It's an entire, I think it's called, not Manaka, what is it called? I forget, something street. But anyway, it's an entire jazz album that he produced himself, and he plays all these instruments, not just, you know, not just playing around on the not just doing loops the whole day, you know. And Bongani, we know him, of course, from when he used to produce not just for himself, but for Josie, for stuff he did with Bob Marks, that entire crew, that entire era, and of course, Dallas's entire first album. And the sound is known for hip-hop at the time. He's just as a hip-hop DJ, but his talents go far beyond that. And for my thing, I bring him up only because of the disappointment of not having him around and having seen him do everything that he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Exactly like how we speak about Pori, I feel like if that guy had maybe the discipline, you know what I'm saying, to stick to his art and to like be more deliberate in the way that he was showing it. And maybe that's the thing that we lose from guys who became popular too quickly. Because back then it was tough. You know, guys wouldn't get money for this and that. But as a guy, you know, who came up, you know, as one of the most popular South African artists of all time, I thought that maybe he would have had the willpower to continue to show off his talent. So, Bongani Fassie, I feel like it's somebody who should have showcased his talents a lot more, because he definitely does have them outside of hip hop.
Also, he's got a surname. If I had that surname,
I'd be everywhere. I'd be Fassie across my forehead.
You can't. No.
I didn't call myself just Mr. Fassie.
Yeah,
Bongani guy is throwing people off Mr. Fassie. Hello. The other Fassie.
Bongani is amazingly talented, and I think that's sometimes also, like you're mentioning, the disappointment about where he should be because of wherever he is right now, and it's sad because we want more for that person, and you need to separate the person from the music sometimes and be like, hey, the music is amazing, but the person needs to drive the music to the next stage. Unfortunately, media training. Anyway, we got another question.
I'm gonna fish it out. This one says, who do you think is the biggest sellout in the game? Who do you think is the biggest sellout in the game?
Can I take maybe a timeout? I'll be back. I think I'm also getting that Rambo Yaga Sipo from last week. It's happening right now.
My fish is drowning. I gotta leave. Wait.
I think it's time for me to...
Sipo, you can run this one first. Thanks.
I'm trying to figure out who is the biggest sellout. It's a very difficult question because it just requires a little bit more...
What does it mean to sell out?
Context.
I guess in this instance, maybe selling out would be somebody who started off doing one sort of maybe genre, you know?
And moving.
And then completely abandoning it and just going for the bag. You know what I mean? Sellout is somebody who was like trying their art out and then it didn't work. So they found a cheat code and said, I'm just going to go over here and do...
I feel like I know where you're going. Stop.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring that...
Just cut it.
I don't want to bring that name up again because, you know...
Tell us, Sipo.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's selling out or if it's progression. But I don't want to bring up people like, for example, who used to be dancers who are now rappers, or who used to do a certain genre of hip hop and then abandoned it.
No, but then we can't say that because also like I'm a dancer.
Of
first
course,
and foremost,
that's what I'm saying.
DJ. Then you look at DJs,
there's a difference.
Same thing. So what's the sellout point?
Because I'm just trying to clear out what I was speaking about with genres. Because I was like, you used to do one thing, now you do another. That's not what I mean. In this particular incident, you know what I mean? Like being a DJ and then maybe start rapping. That's not selling out.
Just say
or the other way around. There's no immediate person who's coming to mind who's abandoned hip hop.
He's like this with the sugar on top.
Who abandoned hip hop? Who used to make hip hop music and then they stopped and now they don't make hip hop music anymore?
Is that being a sellout?
I mean, it's close enough in this situation. Somebody who, I mean, and I can't immediately think of anybody who's a complete sellout.
Please.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, who used to do one thing and then just completely stop? I'm asking you guys.
You're going in circles. You're actually going in circles.
I'm trying to help you
and
guys.
you're wasting time. Actually.
I don't have a definitive name.
Okay, sure.
You know what I mean? Because lots of guys have done house music and hip hop. They've done hip.
We just gave Courtney his dabs for
you know what I mean?
making everything.
That's not selling out per se.
Yeah,
so it's a very difficult question to answer because there's no name that someone I can think of immediately. Guys, if there's a name you want us to discuss, please throw it in here. Look, in terms of, you're saying obviously not Pori, but wait, sorry, what's the name you just said now? You said Major League and then you said Cassper. I mean, it's the same thing that we'll bring up now about people trying new genres. Cassper did quite hip-hop music and then released an album that was deliberately quiet, though he dabbles in dance music. But I mean, these are guys that positioned themselves as hip-hop / pantola guys who have already played out with sound. WHP, for example, is a guy who would make all types of music. You couldn't place him at certain times.
Who is a sellout?
Currently, listen, I think we'll come back to this topic at some point because there's nobody, trust me, you guys know I put my name on the line and say the person's name who I felt like is an actual sellout. But currently right now, there's nobody who's top of mind who I think actually sold out in the game.
Okay.
So unless you stop making music and you're in corporate now. Who is this?
So it's okay. So it's okay to kind of move around and to experiment.
I think so. But also, I mean, this is where you guys get to come in as you're watching at home as well. Get involved a little bit. Let us know who do you think is a sellout.
In the
but
comments.
Also, don't just tell me someone that you hate, because I could have easily taken that that route just for entertainment purposes. But give us an actual solid reason of somebody who you think 100% sold out in the game. Interact with us on the socials, and let's see if we're gonna come back to this topic. I think it's very interesting, but it needs to be very solid argument.
Yeah, the argument can't be flip-flop. I mean, obviously, people mentioning, well, our behind-the-scenes guys who don't take the heat, we take the heat. But anyway, who mentioned, obviously, Major League mentioned Cassper. I honestly don't have an issue with them changing genres. What I did have an issue with prior, and I have mentioned this on POPcast before, was don't shit on the place that has given you a platform. So don't basically say, I leave this thing, fuck hip hop, we're going with a new wave. By all means, like Cassper even did a gospel song. Shout outs, you know what I mean? I really don't care in the experimenting of music. You're a creative. You're allowed to play around. You're allowed to express yourself in different genres and different places and different things. Just don't say, leave that thing is dead. Because that thing that is dead now is the thing that gave you your fame. You know what I mean? So that's my only issue from that perspective. But I don't call them sellouts. I don't think they're sellouts. I think they can go ahead and do whatever music that they want. I will support it wherever I support it. You know what I mean?
And also, you must think about what is the thing that you sold out really. So if people bring up Major League, it's like, I think they think the boys used to make hip-hop music or something, which they did not. They're always playing around with kwaito. You know what I mean? That's the genre that they actually, music that they release. You guys remember all the, what's the track they did with Malum Cat and Cassper, that first
time? Oh, yeah, Slicer Toes.
Slicer Toes. I mean, that's the intro to...
That was dance, yeah.
They've always made dance music. So, again, what is the thing that you're abandoning versus the thing that you're going for? There's music, I don't think you can ever really call someone a sellout.
Yeah, and I think we're so much better for it. Like, if you think of Major League leaving the hip-hop space or whatever and going to piano, look what they're doing. We're better for it.
And they're taking piano to the UK. 100%. They are putting South Africa on the map. Shout outs to them. They need to keep on pushing. Like I said, I'll support the music. Just don't say fuck hip-hop because please...
Let's get straight into some music, of course. A lot of drops, as per usual. It's getting hotter outside, and the music is getting hotter as well. I don't know.
Yes.
Some of it. There's some interesting drops out here that we're going to mention. Let's start with the current golden boy, of course, Blxckie.
Yes.
How do you feel about Blxckie?
I am a fan. I love him. Hip-hop was losing me a little bit for a while, but he brought me... And who's on that track? Pori.
Madumane.
Oh, Madumane.
No, Pori is a DJ. Madumane is the rapper.
To me, he's the
Get it right.
Guy. Yeah.
No, Madumane is the one who wears the glasses and the scarf on the head. Yeah.
Excuse. But then I love that track. I won't lie. It hits me here.
Somebody said, and I think it was, I don't know, Blxckie reposted it. I think it was Okay Wasabi. It was like, this song is not a song. It's like a spiritual chant.
That's why I said it hits you,
It's a spiritual chant. It's not really like a traditional song that you play on radio. It's this thing, like Kanye West open anything with donda, donda, donda. That chant, of course, this is like a more musical piece, but it's one of those things where there's not a song, it's more something to make you feel something. And hey man, Blxckie, I don't know where his voice goes sometimes, where the production starts and where him takes over.
You can't miss right
I saw the clip of that. I was sitting there going, I don't know what's going on. I had my hands in the air like I was in church, Baba, and I was, confessing.
Yeah, somebody tweeted actually when the song came out, and they were like, the dope thing about Blxckie is that if he was signed to a traditional label, they would have blocked him from dropping the song because he just dropped the deluxe album. He just dropped the album. He's been doing a lot of features, and they would have kind of had to pull him back a little bit and be like, you're doing too much. You know what I mean? I really dig the direction he's taking with his career. Some people might feel like, okay, he's a little bit all over the place. I think it's great because that's exactly how Lil Wayne got himself in. That's exactly how Drake got himself in. Nicki was doing features here and there. Why can't we do the same thing? You know what I mean? And what I also dig about Blxckie as well is that he's a musician. Because I have this argument all the time about sometimes you can be a really dope rapper, but maybe you can't make like hit songs, but you can just rap your ass off. And then you can make songs and music where it will last for years to come, and it's not bubblegum, and it's something spiritual like you're mentioning. That's what I think Blxckie is. He's a musician. And with every song, with every feature, you feel that every time you hear that, yeah, and it comes in, you say, okay, we're rocking now.
Now, Blxckie is definitely in his bag. And I mean, guys, when they're coming in, we know the hunger. They come in with a lot of force. After a while, it started being about the money. People started pulling back. Artists that we wish, that we fell in love with maybe years ago, that came in with the same hunger, don't have the same passion. And sometimes I wonder myself, is part of it just, people just get older and tired and they just want to be left alone for a little bit? Or are they dropping one song a year because that's the only hot song that could make that year? Like, I always have these arguments in my mind. As you get older, you get away from your own creativity. You get too much in your head now.
Yeah.
Everything that you release, because you know how scrutinized it gets by the entire industry. Now you're even scared to put yourself
But
out
also
there.
you get busier. You know what I mean? Now you're traveling. Now I've got 10 features. Who was that guy that released the list the other day? And he was like, guys, I'm getting to you. This is the list of features I have to get to. I don't know if it was T-Pain or what, but like literally notes like this. And he's like, and this is the order. Stop reaching out. I'm like, hey. You know what I mean? Back in the run, you still got 2 tweets.
Yeah, you see people send verses, okay? It happens. I'd be mad at Boohle for poor kill. All right, the next song, Lucasraps dropped a single called Johnny Dang that's coming off of his album 031 to the World. The album's dropping on the 1st of October. So we've heard Slide. This is the next single coming off of that. Of course, the album will be in 2 weeks' time, but yeah.
Johnny Dang, I felt, I don't know, I didn't feel too much about it when I listened to it. It sounded like I don't know, like a prelude or like an intro
something.
Or like a bit of a freestyle to something.
It was the
feels like
very
a Lucy.
aggressive
You know those
for me,
tracks like a Lucy, like let me just give him some.
Yeah.
I'm coming with the real heat because we've spoken about his other tracks and know his track record of this trap music that he makes. He definitely goes in and and I love his sound. Him and Blxckie are like very, very exciting to me. But this particular track, I don't think it didn't like hit any particular spot. When I listened to it, I was just like, all right, Lucas, what's coming?
Yeah, I think for me, it's also just making me want to hear the rest of the album to see his direction, to see how he's trying to navigate himself into this game. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm interested. You're also right. I think also what made it kind of feel a little bit like an interlude is the fact that the song was only like 1:40, you know? And I guess that's the formula now with all these trap kids is that the songs must be like 2 minutes and then off. I get it. Also from a streaming perspective, because you just want the song to be repeated so many times that your streams are just skyrocketing. And, you know, that's the new formula of making music. So it's gotten me interested to hear the rest of the album. Let me rather say that.
You know, these young kids are very visual artists. Like they make music, but they're very visual at what they're doing. It's like they're making this piece of music and there's already have a vision of how they want to deliver it to you. So you see it when they make the videos online and when they create the little chant, when they get it trending and the hashtagging and it's TikTok, because they're in that generation a lot more than the older guys. So everything feels a little deliberate. So I'm interested to see what something that seems like a throwaway track could grow to being when he himself starts saying, I know what I was doing here. Now let me take you guys on the journey of what it could be. So I hope maybe we're making it fake deep for no reason at all. and maybe it really is. And maybe it is just a throwaway track. Oh, maybe we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and going, okay, I see where you're going, Lucas.
Courtney?
No, I think it's cool, man. Look, I've always said I'm not like a big trapper. I enjoy music that hits me here. I want to sit in the car and cry. I want to feel everything all at once. But I think it's dope. Like, even as a DJ, I don't really play that stuff, but I can see where it sits and I can see where it works. I think I listened to it like the morning it came out. I was just waking up, I hit play, and then I just hear this like, let my nuts hang. I'm like, I'm just waking up. Like, allow me to.
Too early for you.
Yeah, maybe give it to me in the second.
Yeah. Breakfast,
like, but like you're saying, I don't know if it's a thing that we're going to be listening to for years to come. Yeah. But I think it's
But it's a club song also. You listen to it at the wrong time of the day. Yeah. That was your problem. It's not Lucas's fault. That's your fault.
It's not a morning thing.
Yeah. Okay, next up we've got KidX, African Woman. That's also a song dropping from his album Father of Zen. It's also coming out 1st of October. So, the albums are coming through thick and fast, which I'm happy about.
That's cool, man. I love the work. Like I said, it's summer, so we know guys get busier because they're trying to get that traction. The country's a little bit more open. But X, I'm excited to hear this project. A very interesting sound versus the first single that we heard. Here is got a very African feel to it, very deliberate, almost Afro-beaty, something about it. And then he starts rapping at the end. I love when guys do that, where they carry the song by themselves. He's singing. Now the end is like, let me give you a little bit of rap, those low bars, give you that variation in the track. It's sounding dope. I like the general direction that X is taking. He's very experimental.
Yeah.
And very conceptual, rather. Sorry, X. In his last album, he had like, kind of was that lady who draws those patterns.
So Esther
Maklang. Like, they had this whole entire thing where they designed something together and it was deliberate. And he brought the cover and he's like, touch it, open it. Let me take you through the journey.
Even the feature with Mtano Muntu, that the whole Maskandi type of sound, clean with it. Yeah, so KidX, I also dig it. African Woman, I do know he does like to play around with the music. He's also got this thing where it's always so funny to see rappers who really, really want to sing, but they don't have that thing. But I appreciate the fact that X at least tries, because you can see in the songs where he's singing, he's actually putting more of his emotions into it. Whereas when he's rapping, he's just like, I'm out here, I know my boss, I can out-rap all of you. But when he's singing, he's putting in the effort to say, I'm really, really doing this thing.
Did you feel it,
and he's putting the emotions in African Woman.
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Like, for me, like, X, unmatched. We know he's dope, lyrically, got the bars, whatever. But like, Jukebox had me. I was inside. This one, I don't know if it's the singing thing or what, but and yes, give us the emotion. I mean, I've got emotion. Doesn't mean I'm gonna sing tomorrow for you guys. You know what I mean? So I think
express it differently, I guess.
This one just, it missed me a little bit. I could see where he was going and I appreciated the effort. But
I think
same as the first track.
It didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
It's different variant. I definitely like Jukebox way better. I'm interested to see, artists are always trying to throw us off. One minute you think you are, okay, you're coming with this sound, and then next thing is like, okay, I'm experimental as well.
Yeah, but he sang in Mtano Muntu as well, so I think he was trying to go off the bat of that song, because that song was actually very big. So, let's just let it be and see where it kind of goes, especially with the album dropping soon. I do worry a little bit, just from an artist perspective, dropping one song and then another song a week later, and then it's like, okay, are you giving us just a taste, or are you saying this is the official single that we need to run for? It just makes it just a bit tricky for us to say, okay, where do we concentrate? Or maybe I'm thinking too much about it. I don't know. The album is coming.
You sound like a radio.
Huh?
You sound like radio.
I know.
What single is it, guys?
I know. The thing is, I've been on for too long. Maybe that's also the problem. I need to leave so I can start thinking like a normal person. Okay, so next up, we do have an album we were supposed to talk about last week, but because Sipho and the stomach were in the things.
Yeah, that's how the album even made me have to take a day off.
He got away with it, but I'm bringing it back because I want him to face the fire. Because he was busy saying, hey, I'm worried about this song because the name of this one is saying what? The name of this one is saying what?
Yeah, see, that's why I was off sick yesterday, guys.
You're
I spent the entire night listening to that album. I listened to it to the point where I needed to see the doctor the next morning. That's how flat this album was for me. I mean, I'm not going to say too much because I've said a lot in the last couple of episodes, but I listened to the album. It's only 8 songs.
It's not an album, it's an EP.
It's an EP, sorry, yeah. So I bumped it thoroughly, aggressively, loud, not loud, big speakers, small speakers, just to give them that thing. I said that user track, as soon as it started, I was like, oh, it's bumping. User comes in and it's high energy, it's bumping, Costa's out here, they're rapping, and I couldn't hate on any of that. In fact, at that point, I was like, I was smoking so much shit, I feel like I'm going to have to start eating my words now. Like these guys that were listening, they're like, you don't know what we're coming with. I can't, it's just user. Nothing to worry about. User is the only track on the album that's nice. All the other 7 tracks, it's 7 duds for me. User, it deserves better. You know when Baba Mania had said, That song that he has with Gemini Major.
Yeah.
African
Energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, Energy deserves to be on a better album. It didn't deserve to be on Baba Mania. And it's the same thing I feel about Yuzo Yuzo. It's the only dope track that I liked on the album personally, and the other 7 I'd definitely throw away. Track 7, in fact, is maybe one of the worst songs I've heard in recent hip-hop history.
What song is that?
I don't know what it is, but it's... what
Just
the name
know
of the
it by the
song was.
number.
I just remembered it was track 7.
Let me try and find it
It was
for
either
you.
before or after Super Soft on the album. And I was just like, all right, guys, now...
There were a lot of beats in there that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, the production is dope. And shut up. And I know one of the guys who produced it. And he saw me and I saw him. And he saw me and I saw him. I said, what's up? You know, he gave me that look. I was like, hey, shout out to the homie. I've got nothing but love for him. I'm not going to say his name, because I'm trying to get him. I don't know what camps are happening there. But he knows who he is. One of the guys was a producer. And I've seen him a couple of times this past week. And I just told him straight to his face. I'm like, you did a good job. Unfortunately, they didn't help you out there.
Wow. Okay, so I listened also because I wanted to... I think I wanted them to save me from how I felt about Supersoft. But then I understood Supersoft after you mentioned that no, it was intentional for them not to rap.
Right.
And I think maybe my disappointment came in because I was like, but where are the raps? Until I found out it was intentional for them not to rap. Then I was like, oh, okay, well, if that's what they're doing, then let me let it go. So my angst towards that is kind of now to the wayside. Yizo fire song. What I dig about Yizo also is that AKA is rapping like AKA Victory Lap, AKA, where you can hear his voice and it's not drowning in auto-tune, you know? So I also appreciate the fact that you hear the different types of AKA throughout the EP, where you hear the rapper guy, and then you hear the I'm trying to be swag with my words. I think it was in Sugar, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the song. And then obviously then they play around with the super softs of the world. So I actually enjoyed it, the EP. I enjoyed hearing different sides of Costa as well, also coming through, him kind of playing around with the EP. I see the vision now that the whole project is out. I think maybe I also prejudged it with Supersoft because I was like, but where are the raps?
And my thing about it is that please make no mistake, I don't want any old rapper back. I don't want the old Cassper, the old Kanye West, the old AK. No, you did what you did then. That was that era. Now you're in a new era in your life. You grow a little bit older. You're trying to express yourself in new ways. The only thing is it must continue to be dope. You don't get to say, I've grown up. You grow into a whack rapper now. Like, what do you say when you say you grew up? That's all I'm saying. So don't tell me, go listen to the old AKA if you're on the old AKA. No, that guy did his thing. He was dope. And he put out dope music. The current one, I'm not impressed by. So it has nothing to do with growth. Growth means you get better. Doesn't mean you suddenly start to decline in the quality of work that you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? I have the same things about Kanye West, where like I don't like a lot of the new stuff that he makes out, but I don't want to. What I'm saying is I don't want to go to the old Kanye.
Yeah.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whatever Kanye does right now must be dope. And if it doesn't resonate with me, maybe it's for another era. I can say that, but it's never about making excuses for the rappers. You're not getting them now. Know what they're trying to do. They're not trying to make hits. Like, it doesn't matter what you're trying to do. It must be dope.
Courtney?
He said a lot.
Doesn't matter what you're trying to do right now. Just gotta be dope.
I mean, yeah. Damn it. No, look, couple things confuse me here and there, but my like favorite AKA is Composure AKA. Like that was like one of my favorites. So I think Big Deal probably stood out the most to me because I loved hearing him on that. And I liked a lot of the beats.
All right, she's very on the fact that
concise and on to the next. All right, another EP that we were also supposed to check out last week, but we're going to bring it through to this week was Water Break 2. It is an EP that was dropped by Banny Chill and Jills. So what I dig the most about Water Break is, they've released one before, but this one I think caught my attention because they did also do the production a little bit more stronger. I think they were very deliberate with the songs as well. And also we're hearing Banny Chill in a more settled type of, not settled, but like in a more musical sound as opposed to, yeah, bro. I'm not taking that away from him. That's who he is. But I appreciated seeing or listening to him in a different type of space. So please do go and check it out, Water Break 2. I think it's really awesome. They've got a song called African Bougie there, which I appreciate the content because it's also speaking to how we also have African big labels that we want to celebrate in South are the Rich Mnisis, the Tebu Makukus of the world, you know what I mean? So, and they've got these girls who are on the interlude of that as well. It's really dope. So I think they really thought it out, and I think it's a dope EP and a project to check it out as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Heritage Day coming up. Court, I know you're busy with you've got the label on right now with the Jarheads, if they're not singing. But yourself, I know Musli, I know Youngster CPT, and who's the other?
Shane Eagle.
And Shane Eagle. You guys are part of a campaign.
You forgot him because of the cornrows, ne? You're confused.
Oh, Shane.
Yeah.
I saw that you guys are busy with Gstar, of course, for a brand new campaign.
Yeah, man. So that's super dope. I think Gstar just signed Snoop as like a global ambassador.
Oh.
So they, obviously to try and connect it here, they needed to put like our hip hop people on some sort of platform, which I think was amazing. Because people often just do stuff overseas and then they bring it here. Like I went to a Hennessy event in the week. Like they did this massive collaboration with Les Twins, those guys who dance for Beyonce, and then they brought it here. And then it's just French stuff. And we were like, so there's no connection. You know what I mean? So I appreciate Gstar making the connection. They've said, here's your local heroes. This is what we're doing with them. It's been amazing. Like I released a music video. They put that on blast. I released a single. They put that on blast. So it's not just talk.
That's dope. Shout out, Courtney.
And for those who don't know, again, Courtney, I mean, I know you from dance before you even DJ. You know, back in the rap days, those times I was just like, hey,
I'm still that person, though.
And I know that you're still heavy. A lot of people left dance behind that used to be dancers. And you, of course, haven't done that. You've got the TV show, Dance, Africa Dance.
Yes.
How's that going?
We actually launched last night. It airs in the UK, Indian Islands, 52 African countries. But that aside, I've got the Olympics 2024. So when I say I can't be in the club dancing all night, guys, I'm not trying to be funny. It's not that I don't like you. Like, I just have to get up and train in the morning. So
Olympics
has been confirmed that they're adding
100%.
And you're going to represent us.
I won the Red Bull BC one in March, which means Poland in November. Just one breaking for gold, which means Paris in December. And that's the first stop for the Olympics in 3 years. So it's like
about it, son.
That's so dope, especially because I like that the Olympics is including all of these culture sports, because obviously skateboarding just was added in, and now breakdance is obviously added in as well. And it's kind of dope to see other people kind of representing South Africa, not us only just looking at the traditional sports, swimming, rugby, and the likes of.
It always felt so far-fetched. Now I'm like, I'm not wearing those belts, goodness. What are we going to do?
I mean,
you'll bring your own swag. Just say hip hop, I'm going to do my own thing.
In terms of versatility, it doesn't get any better than here. Good luck for that, by the way.
I'll take it.
And I mean, breakdancing is it's what you call this. It's gymnastics at the end of the day.
To music. Which people are always like, who does that thing? It's like from the 1970s. Yeah, that thing is alive and well. And it's 10 times like more complex than it was. But that being said, I also dropped a single, guys, in case you didn't notice.
Yes. Oh, wait.
Yeah, check it out, man. Damn.
Yeah, I was like, we're going to add this next week, but I definitely...
we're doing it now. Right. He's going to be sick next week.
No, I must first listen to it. Otherwise, I'm going to be like, I just like the beat.
Yes.
Okay, right.
I listen to it. Outside of the pink, because the album artwork is also pink like me today. I appreciate that you added Mani Badu. I think she's really dope. I think she needs a lot more features for people to recognize her talent. Shout outs there. Phantom Steve's always coming through with the jig and the vibes. Also, Liz's shout outs at the end. I was like...
we were sitting in studio and like obviously everybody had these bars and I'm like, it's not for you to rap here. Like my favorite Les is the All Eyes on Me Les. So I was still choreographing for Les and Keenan at the time. Like you remember I've gone through all these people at some stage as their choreographer, you know? So now it's like coming 360. So we were just like, I don't think we need bars here. Just jump in the booth and say something. Next thing he's resurrecting ancestors. Your mama's mama, your daddy's dad.
That shibaba do shibabu energy.
Yeah. So, man, I enjoyed it. I think it's dope.
Shout
but listen, let me know.
Yes, go check it out. Courtney Paul.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for this amazing episode of POPcast, made amazing by our special guest, Courtney Paul. Her handle is definitely up on screen, so go follow her on the socials and check what she's up to. Miss Cosmo?
Yes. Please keep on commenting, keep on liking, keep on subscribing. Catch us again next week. We're going to come through with the fire. Sipo's obviously going to throw more shots like he does every single week.
Very, very healthy.
Yes. And of course, also please check out our Pop Radio episodes. Remember, they are also still coming up. We've got dope guests on our next episode, Major Steez. If you're a big Major Steez fan, you want to check out this episode because those boys, they're characters and a half. And I think half the time Scoop was just like, okay, sharp. So check it out for our next Pop Radio episode. And of course, keep on following and subscribing. And we are coming up next with the Artscape and Real Views. Hey, what's up, guys? So this is this week's Real Views right here on the POPcast. So, as usual, I always focus on what's happening from a local perspective. Showmax seems to be giving me all of the content and I'm enjoying it. I'm not even going to lie. So this week, I watched a movie called Uhambo. And it is featuring Sphiwe Mtshali as well as Enhle Mbali. So Sphiwe Mtshali is somebody who has been a very big actor in the likes of Generations, all of the soapies that you've kind of watched in South Africa. Enhle Mbali, obviously, we know her from all of her series as well. And this movie kind of focuses on this taxi driver who is played by Sphiwe, who kind of dips out on his wife and he gets shot while he was, trying to run out of the scene because of the lady that he was doing creepy things with. But nonetheless, he ends up dying in the movie. But now he doesn't realize he's dead because he's also got unfinished business. He needs to be able to kind of get himself to the other side. But with getting to the other side, the only person who can see him, the only person who can help him is his old friend that he grew up with, who's actually a Nyoape addict. So it's kind of tricky now because how are you going to believe a drug addict to tell somebody else that this person's dead and he needs to kind of get his unfinished business sorted out? It's extremely well shot and I really enjoy how they put the story together. Please go and check it out. Obviously not going to kill the story for you through the ending, but I do think it's worth checking out. So shout out to South Africa for putting out hot movies.